Welcome. It's 5 o'clock. Let me get the lights turned back on up here. Thank you. Sorry about that. The school has an auto light shut off at 5 o'clock, so it's 5 o'clock. Woohoo! We're good to go. Thank you so much for being here this evening. I'm going to thank you in advance for your patience, as this is our very first time having full audience, everybody here, and I'm doing this all by myself. So last year I had help and assisted with me, and it was very, very helpful to get things smoothly worked out. So this is a first go at this, me doing this all on my own. So I appreciate your patience in advance. The program, those of you who have come in since I made the announcement, there are programs at the north entrance doors. Okay? They're in a cardboard box, you can grab it, and that has the outline for the evening. We are going to start with our beginning percussion class. They are going to play warm-up exercises that they have worked on throughout the last 2 terms. You notice there's 2 rows of mallet instruments and 2 rows on pads and sticks. We're going to go through the warm-up exercises twice so that you will see your student perform on these on the pad. Then you'll see them play on the mallets as well. And hopefully they're in windows well enough that you can kind of see in the very back. Probably not. I apologize. It'd be awesome if we had like tiers and stuff, but they're playing, I promise, and they're doing great work. So thank you for coming this evening. We're going to get started. While they finish rotating here, I'll explain a little bit what they're doing. So the mallet instruments are playing 3 exercises. The first one is full strokes. They're doing a 1-octave scale up and down, and we focused on their grip and then the stroke technique. A full down-up motion with keeping the shaft of the mallet firmly grasped in the palm of the hand. So it's a lot of wrist motion back there. And same with on the pads up here. The students are going through 5 exercises. They start with 8 on a hand, and then they play one called bucks, where they're doing an accent and a tap. Then they play one called double beat, where they're practicing going 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then they're doing one that we call hupped up, that they learned by thinking through Pepsi product names: Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Mountain Dew. It breaks it down into quarter notes, 8 notes, and triplets for them. And then the last thing you hear them play is it's called Checkerboards. So they play a whole measure of single strokes and then a whole measure of 2 strokes on each hand. So that's what you're seeing and hearing. You should be good to go now. Thanks. Our Valley View Middle School beginning percussion class. Thank you. I think I forgot to explain the mallets. So they start with the 8 full strokes exercise up and down, and then they do the chromatic scale in 1 octave, and then they do it's called a green scale pattern. Go up 5 notes, down 5, and then they go up 9 notes, down 5, back up to 9, down 9, up 9, down. So if you were listening to what the mallets were doing, that's what they were doing. All right, thank you, percussion. We're going to have you clear what you were doing, and we need to get beginning band set up on the stage. Beginning band students, you need to, okay, so first, leave your instruments here. Let's get chairs and stands set up, then come back, get your instrument, and come up here. Okay, let's see if we can get this done in 5 minutes. We're timing you.
You just missed the percussion. Beginning band percussion.
We're just about ready to get this rolling. You may have noticed I took a detour from our planned program. We totally need to get the Percussion 2 class will perform after these students. I apologize for that. Made a slight mix-up, and by the time we had chairs out and moving, it was too late. So we'll get the Percussion 2 students. You'll perform immediately after the beginning band performs. Got it? Awesome. Thank you for your patience.
Caleb?
Okay, looks like we've got everyone we need up here, so we're going to get going again. Percussion students who are involved with Christmas mashup, can I have you raise your hand? Okay. Woodwind class and brass class are going to play. You should have been set up here for Christmas mashup, okay? It's too late now, so as soon as they're done, you need to come up and get your stuff set up, okay? We're gonna get set up for Woodwinds first, brass second. I'm gonna do a little bit of showing you what they've worked on throughout the school year for getting sound and warming up, and then they'll play a few things just as classes. So, Woodwinds, we always start on either mouthpiece and barrel, mouthpiece, or just head joint for flutes. So I'm gonna have them do that. So flutes, if you'll play your head joint pitch, please. And then I have them hold that, and then they'll do 2 counts on a low note, 2 counts on a high note, with the head joint closed. Let's hear that. 2, ready, go. Okay? So they're blowing 2 pitches, all at the same length of tubing. Slow air versus fast air. Clarinets, I have them play a pitch on just their mouthpiece and neck. Clarinets taking a deep breath and blow that pitch. Ready, set, go. Sweet. You don't really hear any crazy outliers? Good. And that is a specific pitch that they're supposed to be getting. Alto saxophones. We can hear yours. Ready, set, go. Great. So, with them matching pitch, that actually took several weeks. And then, like, we're months now into it, and they all match, and they're doing the same thing. Yeah. Now, the brass class, they have just a mouthpiece as well. Brass, can you take your mouthpiece off? We're going to blow through just the shank side first, okay? Ready, set, go. You see, they flip their mouthpiece around backwards, kind of weird. This helps them just let the air freely flow through the mouthpiece. Again. And then flip it, blow through the cup of the mouthpiece. Ready, set, go. Again. And then they gradually just let the lips start to vibrate. No pitch in mind, no forcing of vibration, just letting it happen. Deep breath in and gradually vibrate out. Go. And then we have them zone in on a pitch. Ready, set, go, match that one. You hear them matching the same pitch? Again, that took weeks, now months of work to get that happening. Yeah. Okay, so now as a whole band, we're going to hold the first note that they learned on their instrument. We use solfege in class each day. They've learned do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And as a first sounds that we do, we start on sol for their instruments. It is an F on the piano keyboard. We hold for 4, rest for 4, hold for 4, rest for 4. And I have them do that several times until pitch is all kind of zoning in. So that's what we're going to do now. Ready? So if you've been following them at home, watching them submit their videos and assignments, that was the very first thing that they sent to me. Actually, it was the second one. The first thing they sent to me was sound on mouthpiece, mouthpiece neck, things like that. Then the second thing they did was send me a video of them doing that. Third thing they did was send me a video of them playing what they're going to play for you now. This is number 17 in their book. It is what we call a Penta Scale. So it's a 5-note scale based around B flat on a piano keyboard. We're going to play that for you. Okay, we're going to do 2 more little warm-up things, and then we'll have them play their individual things. So this next thing that they're playing is a lip slurp. So on the brass instruments, you know, they only have 3 valves or 4 valves, but they can play all the same notes that these woodwind instruments play. They have to do that with changing of vibration speed of the lips, and so they play 2, 3, 4, 5 notes with the same fingering. So this gets them going on that. And then the woodwinds, this is a good fingering drill for them. So this one is number 50 in their book, which is a lip slur exercise. This last thing that we'll do together as a warm-up is number 55 in their book, which is close to where they're at right now. Today in class we worked through 60 and 61, but number 55 is a most recent one, and they're going through 7 different pitches on their instrument and a chromatic motion downward and upward. So we'll hear that. And this also, all of these, I'm having them do this just so that they can zone in on pitch, and we didn't just start and pitch was just everywhere. So this is a demonstration for you and a warm-up for them. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Now we'll go ahead and move to having just the Woodwinds play a little song out of the book and have the brass play a little song out of the book. The Woodwinds decided they wanted to play the little folk song Dreidel Spinning Top out of their book. And we broke it down into where each row gets a chance to play on their own and they all play together. So hopefully you'll get a chance to hear just your student in a group of 6 or 7 kids while they perform. So Woodwinds play Dreidel, Dreidel. And then the brass class will follow up with the little snippet of the theme from Beethoven's Ode to Joy, which is in their book number 32, I believe. Number 28, sorry. 28. Dreidel, Dreidel's 32. So that was our woodwind class. Thank you. the brass class. Okay, percussionists involved with Christmas mashup, come on up, get your things set up, so we can be going in 2 minutes on Christmas mashup. This is percussion 1. You guys are percussion 2. While they get set up for that, I'll tell you a little bit about this last piece that we're going to play as a whole group. So it's called Christmas Mashup. Those of you who did beginning band last year will remember we played this one last year too. It's one that I love to have the beginning students do because it's in the range of what they can play, and it gives you kind of a good mix of all these little Christmas tunes. So if you listen, you'll hear 7 different songs in this piece. First is Jingle Bells. Then you hear Up on the Housetop. You hear a little bit of Good King Wenceslas. Angels We Have Heard on High. Here We Come A-Wassailing. Oh Come Little Children, and Deck the Halls. So if you want to do a little personal quiz, trivia, listen for those as you hear them play and see if you hear each one of those 7 different tunes as they come up. It's fun. It's fun to listen for that. And again, this is the first time that these kids are up on the stage and all this stuff is happening. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to help percussion make sure they have everything they need. Hopefully we can get going shortly. Thanks. Okay, we're going to get going now that we've got all our percussion set up. Thank you again for the wait. This is kind of the name of the game with transitions and everything. After this, we're going to have the beginning band students stack chairs and stands. Okay, Woodwinds, if you have a question on how to do that, brass class knows how to do it very well. And then we will get our percussion tube students up here to perform their ensemble. We'll start with battery first, rechargeable battery second. The Valley View Middle School beginning band. So it's pretty incredible to believe that, I mean, they've just been playing 4 months, and that piece that we just played, they got 2 15-minute rehearsals last week to put together. This is 3 separate classes. And the percussionists back here, these are all the percussionists who have the highest scores amidst the 28 kids in the Percussion 1 class. So the students playing for this are the ones who have done the best throughout the term so far. So yeah, nice work back there, percussion, nice work, brass, nice work. We're going to give another round of applause. We'll get our percussion ensemble started.
the iPad here.
We're ready to get going with our Percussion 2 students. Band 2 students, make sure you're not playing until we're up on the stage, please. I was just hearing some clarinet playing. So the Percussion 2 class, I've split up into 2 different ensembles that are going to be performed tonight. First one's called Battery, and the second one's called Rechargeable Battery. So these students are in their second year on the percussion instruments. The first year is heavily focused on fundamental skills of striking the instruments, like how to hold the things that they're striking the instrument with, the motions that are used for that, note names, reading rhythms, things like that. In the second year, we do a lot more diving into how to play all types of different percussion instruments. I tell these students all the time that they probably don't realize how intense of a activity that they signed up for, because they're learning like at least 10 different instruments. We call these auxiliary percussion instruments. So these 2 pieces are meant to showcase what they have learned in playing these auxiliary instruments. So you see timpani, bass drum, snare drum, crash cymbals, a suspended cymbal. You'll hear castanets, clave, tambourine. What else do we have there? Triangle. We have cabasa in this one. That's the next one. So there's just tons of different percussion instruments, and they get to play all of them. It's like they have a closet of toys. So this is Rechargeable Battery. If it doesn't make sense, that's okay. It doesn't make sense to me much either, but they're playing. Oh yeah, this is battery, not rechargeable battery. Battery first, then we rechargeable battery. All right, now we'll have the students who are involved in the other one, Rechargeable Battery, come up. And you'll see they're utilizing a bunch of the same instruments, all auxiliary percussion. While they get set up, I'll point out all the instruments that are involved in here again. So you see timpani, castanets, triangle, tambourine, snare drum, bass drum, the gong they're going to bring out, also commonly referred to as a tam-tam as well, crash cymbals, and the suspended cymbal. All of these come from a book called Beyond Basic Percussion. They're written by a percussionist named Eric Rath, and he's provided a few little points as to why these themes were written. It says that battery was an introduction to accessory percussion instruments. Rechargeable Battery is its souped up, tricked out, high octane, high protein, high performance big brother. You begin with battery, keep your eye on the prize playing Rechargeable Battery. The piece highlights a whole new level of performance that can occur with these instruments and does it in a more musically complex and satisfying manner. So it's much of the same instruments, but they're being played at just next level up. And as I pointed out with the Percussion 1 students, the students who played in that Christmas mashup on these concert percussion instruments were the ones who had the highest scores throughout term 1 and term 2 so far. This group is comprised of those who had the highest scores through last term and this term so far, as well as a few others who were high scoring on the next group. Yeah. So, are we ready to go? We're going to perform Rechargeable Battery. Now we're going to set the stage for our full band 2. So, percussion 2, we need to get concert percussion set up for starting with Jupiter. Band students, we need to get you up on the stage and get your chairs and stands set up. Leave your instruments here first. Chairs and stands set up, then come back and get your instrument. Okay? Thank you again for your patience with all these transitions. Like I said, this is my first go at doing this on my own. I can definitely tell I'm already going to make some adjustments on the way I'm going to do things, so hopefully it runs a little more seamlessly. But thank you again for your patience. We'll see if we can get going in 5 minutes.
been there recording me forever. Yeah. Percussion, I think it was a long time ago, a while ago. Yeah.
They're just good friends of ours, and they all know one person.
Yeah.
According to my timer, we have 10 seconds left for the 5 minutes I gave them. So, thank you. They work like busy honeybees. This is the sound alarm they get on the timers I give them. And then I tell them, welcome to Bandlandia. So, welcome. Thank you for coming tonight. We're gonna play 4 pieces for you, but before we do that, we're gonna have these students do some warm-ups just to get in tune and make sure we're ready to go. So, we'll take about 5 minutes to play through some warm-ups, and then we'll play through what's on the concert program. Thank you. That was a very condensed version of our warm-up. Our class periods are about 40 minutes, and of the 40 minutes, we'll usually spend about 20 minutes digging into exercises and foundational skills and technique, and then the other 20 minutes working on pieces of music to apply those techniques. These 3 pieces of music that you'll hear tonight, some of them are familiar, some of them not. This first one is the melody from a very, very famous symphony, The Planets. It's the melody from one of the movements, the movement Jupiter. Of course, they're not going to be playing like the actual version of it. This is an arrangement by Robert W. Smith and Michael Story. But as you hear this melody, I'm willing to bet that you will recognize it. It has been put to hymn with words and like all around the world. Different countries have put different words to this melody with how famous it is. So, first, we're starting with Jupiter. By the way, the original composer for it was Gustav Holst, one of my favorite composers. And actually, last year, we spent quite a bit of time with having these kids listening to about 2 to 3 minutes of each of the movements from the planets. So I wanted to program something from that for them. And it ended up being Jupiter. So here we go, Jupiter. Percussion, we're going to get going on Colliding Visions. So this piece called Colliding Visions is written by a composer named Brian Belmages. He's a current composer. He actually was just in Utah last week working with the Davis County District Honor Band. But this piece that he wrote, Colliding Visions, I'll share a little bit with you about what he said about this piece. He said, "This may quite possibly be the most ironic piece that I've ever written in my life. It began when a music program received a grant to commission a new work. The work was to be the highlight of the year for the students, but just before starting the piece, I received notice from Rick Police, band director at Prairie Hill Elementary in Cary, Illinois, that the district had a budget shortfall. The grant itself was not affected, but one of the mandated cuts was the band program, grades 5 through 8. So began the process of writing a world premiere for a band that would no longer exist after its performance. Even more ironic was that it was written as the final piece for their concert. It It would now be the last work the band would ever play. The title, Colliding Visions, focuses on this important issue facing the arts everywhere. He says, I received the following words from Rick Police, who commissioned the work. We were quite surprised that everything went down the way it did. Everything happened so fast. It seemed like all the conditions created a perfect storm. We were not alone either. Many districts are cutting programs and losing teachers. I know what you mean about the irony of the situation. I had no idea this would play out like this when I first pursued the grant. I assumed we would experience some belt tightening, but never thought total elimination would happen. I'm also okay with the subject matter trying into what is going on. There's a lot of frustration and conflict in what was once a very unified staff, but at the same time, glimmers of optimism, as some of us consider new possibilities. So this piece serves as an important reminder that we must all share our passion for music with others. When people look to cut funds, we should state with a firm and unified voice that should not be from the arts. The arts are crucial to our culture and to our own well-being. I could not have said it better, that's why I read it. We are very fortunate to be where we are, where we have such supported arts programs, and thank you all for supporting that and your kids up here performing. Without further ado, Colliding Visions by Brian Malmages. That's a really tricky piece, and they rose to the occasion. I've been very, very impressed with them putting in the work on that one. Yes, thank you. Another applause. This final piece that we're going to play is called Christmas Fanfare. Again, written by a current composer. His name's Randall Standridge. And Randall Standridge is, he was also a junior high, middle school band director for many years. He only recently moved away from being band director and is full-time composer now. And he is writing works that bands across the world are playing all the time. I'm part of several band director groups that are worldwide with 50,000 plus members, and there's always conversation about Randall Standridge works because his music is just so fun for these kids, and it's appropriate for their level of playing, and it's interesting for them, and they enjoy playing it. These students only had one rehearsal as a whole band. So this one, when they first played it, you'll hear it. In the fifth measure, the whole band comes together. Actually, measure 3, and like whole percussion comes together. And they were like, "Whoa, that's so awesome!" Like once they got the percussion in there, it just blew them away. This is another one that combines several different Christmas tunes. It's kind of a little bit of a name that tune. There's 3 or 4 different intermingled Christmas melodies in there. This is how we'll end our concert. Thank you again for coming tonight. And let me also say thank you to our custodial staff and our administration. So I would not be here without our supportive principal and his staff. So if you see our administration, make sure you thank them for allowing kids to be in band. And then our custodial staff here at Salem Junior High. We have one of our custodians staying this evening through this whole thing until 8, 9 o'clock, until we're done with the junior high concert. So these chairs are set up because of them. If you see Mike around, you can say thank you to him for having these chairs ready to go. We're going to finish up with Christmas Fanfare. Bellevue Middle School Band 2. Let's get all our percussion to come back out. All the percussion to come back out. All percussion come back out. Everybody sit down except for the front row. So front row, your parents can see you well, get a picture. Just front row, stand up. Second row, go ahead and stand up. Front row, take a seat. Hopefully this gives you opportunity to see where your kids are at up here. There's a lot of them. Third row, stand up. Just making my seating chart arrangements is a fun task, if you can imagine. Fourth row, stand up. And percussion, if you